God.
Alrighty. Welcome to the PSBS, as a PlayStation Bullshit podcast. I'm your host, Cody PS and Body Boys. Coach here is
Andrew Reedus, double is.
Look at that.
Oh my God. I'm thinking of that stinking Monsters Inc. scene again.
We're counting down.
What? Oh my God. Like, why do I always keep thinking back to that one? I mean, that movie was my childhood, and I love that movie. And I don't know, that scene just, I mean, it gets you motivated. Sully was motivated, and Randall and Mike Wazowski.
That epic countdown.
Yeah, I'm like Sully right now. I'm ready to go in.
And land this plane.
Oh my God.
Not that Sully.
Oh, I'm not going to like days off, and you're going to be like, Andrew, where are you?
Or other Sully and fake your death and then come back and then fake your death again and then also come back.
Yeah, and we needed this podcast to be in video so we can have it kind of in that grayscale tone that all the Clint Eastwood movies are in. So we have to have it like kind of in a grayer tone, where my skin looks gray.
You know, filming what was it, 96% or 97% IMAX? And it was like
yeah, it was.
You couldn't put forth the extra 3% so you could be 100% IMAX.
Yeah, it was nearly there. And the thing was, I saw it in IMAX at the time, and they were so close. It was like for those indoors. Actually, for that scene where that guy was asking him, "Oh, Sully, where are you?" It changed like the bar, the ratio, and then it went back.
That's how it was for me because I was watching. It was weird. I went a really long time while watching Dunkirk.
Yeah.
And I finally watched it the other day. I watched it on Blu-ray at home, and it was just so weird because like most of the scenes just look so amazing, even at home on Blu-ray. It just looks so amazing because it's like full screen. I have a full 65-inch TV, and like it takes up the whole screen. The shot is like, yeah, this looks amazing, and then cuts to like any of the scenes in the boat, and it's just like really really big black bars, you know, because it's like, oh, these are the not IMAX scenes, you know, and it is kind of weird to kind of see that change with the full screen like that, and then go back to widescreen, and then full screen and all that.
Oh, wow, you never caught that one when it was in theaters?
No, I didn't get around to it. There was some stuff going around for me at the time.
Oh, right. And but that's good, though. I mean, you got the 4K Blu-ray, so...
I didn't get the 4K Blu-ray. I was watching on just regular Blu-ray, and it still looked really good. I actually do want to get the 4K Blu-ray now to kind of see. But they are playing that re-release of it in IMAX at some point, I think. I think they said, like, after Oscar nominations come out, they might re-release in IMAX, so I might...
Well, they did it briefly around, like... Thanksgiving.
Yeah, they did that around Thanksgiving, but they want to do a more wider thing to release in IMAX. But they said probably won't be till after Oscar nominations, so we'll see.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing about Dunkirk. Like, I love that movie so much, and even when I got out of it, I was like, yeah, this is a movie that they're gonna like show in like, like those experience movies like in museums and stuff that they would always have. I always imagined like that movie kind of being like an experience like at a museum. Not that that's a bad thing, because like well, I mean, the thing is like Dunkirk doesn't really have much in terms of like character stuff either. So it's like you just watch it.
Yeah, you
can
like pick any scene from that movie and just play it, and you're just like totally fine as far as like story.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you don't have to worry about it. Like I mean, that's actually a strong compliment, because like it stands on its own for like forever in that
That's why there's so many of those mashups now of that movie with The Darkest Hour. Just like The Darkest Hour gives its story context, and then Dunkirk gives The Darkest Hour action scenes, because The Darkest Hour is just like kind of a slow-paced talking film, and then Dunkirk's and then Dunkirk's and then Dunkirk's the all action film. So if you just mix those two movies together, it's like, oh, you got a really good solid movie right here.
Yeah, I know. It was funny. Like, I read this Christopher Nolan interview, and he's all like, yeah, I'm not really in a rush to see that movie at all. I'm like, dude, it's like the companion piece to your movie. He's all like, I love Gary Oldman, but like, I'm not really in a rush to see.
Well,
that
yeah, I bet you love Gary Oldman. He was in your movie, 3 of your movies.
Yeah, he was in 3 of your movies, dude. And you don't even want to see him like in a shining moment, supposedly here. I mean, I haven't seen that one yet. But dude, it's like basically a companion piece. And you're like, nah. But I love Blade Runner 2049 though. I mean, who doesn't? I mean, but at the same time, I'm like, dude, watch it. Your buddy up there, he's gonna win that Oscar. Yeah. Because basically, James Franco chances are gone now.
But no, I was laughing because like when you talk about Dunkirk, I thought you were gonna say it belongs in a museum. They're gonna set up that, but you didn't.
Well, I mean, and I just imagine that being a selection of the movies that you could watch. Yeah, I mean, for years ago, I predict maybe that would happen. I mean, it's not like I didn't walk out of Gravity and be like, yeah, that's gonna be in Space Museum IMAX domes. Because I mean, I like Gravity a lot, but then as the years have gone on, I mean, I'm just like, that was a good experience. I've never even really watched that movie twice. Dunkirk, I think I've seen, twice. So I don't know.
I don't know.
Both of them are kind of experienced movies, but Dunkirk was the better. They are very experienced movies, but I think Dunkirk kind of holds its own a bit more as the years go on. So
yeah. But, anyways, yeah, it's just I know it's been a while, but we do remember that this is a video game podcast.
Video games.
Video games, man. Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since we've done an episode, and we do remember what this is all about. Video game podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Because I would always cringe sometimes when video game podcasts would go off tangents about a completely different medium.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
they should make a Dunkirk video game, and then we'll
and we got something called Call of Duty World War II, even though that does not even take place in that same conflict whatsoever.
Not even a map?
No, dude, they had the chance, didn't they?
Oh god, no! EA's gonna do it, and like they make it like Battlefront, not Battlefront, Battlefield, like do Battlefield 2 or something, and it'd be like World War II again. And then you like play the Dunkirk map, and then you can do like call in hero characters like in Star Wars. So you could be Tom Hardy, come in with a plane.
Oh god, you needed subtitles for that again. I was like, what is he saying? And dude, like, I'm sure you turned up your sound a bit, and then just hearing the IMAX thing, I'm like, what is he saying again? God, better understand him in Venom.
Oh yeah, he's gonna have the Venom symbiote on. He's gonna try talking through it.
He's gonna be like,
it's like you have to make that mouth thing happen to talk, right?
Well, I'm sure Venom's gonna talk. Like, he has to.
Yeah, he's not gonna do that thing where every time he talks, it opens and you see his face.
They announced the storyline that it's following. I went like on the Marvel Unlimited and I started reading the storylines that are like it's being based off of, and he talks quite a bit in the Venom suit. So he's gonna have to if they're adapting that story.
Another cool Tom Hardy voice to add to the Tom Hardy voice collection.
I know somebody should make just like I'm sure somebody's already made like a compilation. Oh my gosh, I have like another Tom Hardy reference, but I don't know if you're gonna get it though. It has like something to do with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't know. You're not caught up on the new season?
I didn't watch yesterday's episode, Friday's episode.
Oh, dude, I'm like barely in it. Are you at least past the third episode?
Yeah.
Oh, that scene with that little girl fighting that guy. Did he look like Bane?
No.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna like pick her up and flick her back for a second there. I was like, that's discount Bane.
You were born.
I'm like,
you were adopted by the shadows. I was born in the shadows. Throws him around.
Like I was like, is the MCU gonna waste another A-list actor like they did the Ragnarok? Like Matt Damon's already technically in the MCU. Why not get Tom Hardy in there for a little bit? He's already in a Marvel universe somewhere.
Well, that's what people were saying online. Like, oh, once Venom bombs, we're totally going to get Tom Hardy to beat the MCU Wolverine.
No. Anyways, but video games. Man, what a complicated relationship it was for 2020. I mean, right now, I guess in terms of okay, you know what? I'm like, my mind's going in the middle age. Oh, question first. From Dave, actually. Oh, our good friend Dave, huh? Not to say that he is our good friend. We need to catch up with him soon. So I'm not busy. Could catch up with him tomorrow, actually. He asked on September 15th, what's going on with the podcast? I mean, technically that is a question. I don't know if he wanted that read on the show, but why not? It is a question.
It is a question, and it's one that we can answer.
It's a complicated one. I mean, we can go on for a while, but I'll keep it condensed. But what has been going on with it? I mean, it's a mishmash of things, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could give your bit. This is like we're in court. It's like, okay, you give your testimony. All rise.
All rise. You're going to cross-examine me. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you've noticed, this is episode 96, and our last episode, episode 95, was a whopping 7 months ago.
Jeez. Yeah, I know. I was shocked yesterday.
So we're taking the HBO slash TV approach and just waiting as long as we want to make episodes. Apparently,
yeah. I mean, we didn't Game of Thrones it or anything. Right?
I mean, we didn't take a whole year off, but we got close. Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, it's just what happened was it was something we talked about last episode, 7 months ago. Was that I was starting a new job. Still kind of transitioning into that, and I do have a weird work schedule, and I still have that schedule, so that's still going. And then you were also transitioning to school.
Yes, well, transitioning to school, and it was so funny listening how I was talking yesterday about like, oh, this semester is going to be like a breeze. Yeah, total lie. I mean, I lied to myself in a way for that, and. I mean, it took me aback a little bit too about how busy the semester is going to be academically and personally for me. So, like, God, like even weekends were taken up, and as much as I was able to do some free time, like watch movies and stuff. I mean, I generally did that on the weekdays. The weekends were like devoted to writing papers, doing lame studying with some dumb electives that I had to do that were just a waste of time, and then just some personal stuff that I had to take care of that I'll probably get into later. But yeah, it was just a whole just thing after thing after thing after thing after thing. And then, the last semester of college for me, I really wanted to take advantage of every single day possible. And I could have cited the podcast and maybe like I just couldn't find it. And then another thing is like I didn't play any games either. I feel like it's so bad to like not even play anything and then just be on here and be like, yeah. I mean, I just think that would not have worked out. Like if I haven't been actually participating in the medium whatsoever, then it's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Can you pause for 1 second?
Oh, whoops. What happened?
Like,
so, like, aside from gaming that much, I mean, I probably only played a handful of games, like, in my friend's, like, room. And then I had my own dorm room where I had, like, a Wii and a TV, and that was it. That my friend lent to me. So, not much going on there. I mean, I played the Switch. That my friend lent to me, and then I bought Mario Odyssey with my own money. I mean, he had Zelda on there and stuff, but I was like, no, I want Mario. It's like, and it just barely came out, so I'm excited and played it quite a bit. So that's really the game I played like the most, at least at my time in last semester of college. So that's kind of like my opening statement.
Your opening statement.
All right, the defendant has the floor.
Parmesan has the floor.
Well, okay, you're the plaintiff. I'm the defendant.
Oh.
Well, what am I defending?
I don't know.
You have no lawyer either. You represent yourself.
I will represent myself here.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You have some stuff too.
Yeah, I have stuff too. It's just, yeah. I mean, that's basically just what it is. It's just we were doing two things. I was doing one thing, you were doing one thing, and it was just hard to kind of like get those schedules to line up in a way. And it was one thing too where I had less time at home, and to do that, you have to do them early in the morning, do them on the weekends at certain times, and sometimes it just doesn't. Timing doesn't line up and all that, and it's one of those things too where it's like I don't want to make a promise here saying that we're going to have regularly scheduled episodes going forward or anything like that. But
I would like to.
Of course we would. But it's one of those things where we're going to try. Like right now, we're doing an episode. Why? Because we just it was just the time. It was the time.
And we feel like
it. We're doing this episode, and if there's an episode next week, great on us. And if there isn't, damn it. It's like. Because we're just so close. I mean, we do have over 100 total episodes.
Technically, but we
Yeah,
don't have
technically.
formal episodes.
Yes, we don't have 100 formal episodes. And I do want to keep the podcast going somewhat regularly to some point because we have a big thing coming up
Yeah.
in the summer. In the
Yeah, we
summer.
do.
And I want us to still be active as a podcast come the summertime because I want to make that a big event for us and for the show.
Yeah.
So
Because at least on the gaming side for Comic-Con this year, I do hope there's more. Even though gaming companies have stepped it back at that particular show in recent years. But I would hope at least in 2018 there's more. And also PlayStation Experience, if it's here this year, I will probably go. Well, in Anaheim.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if they announced that yet. They usually announce that later. So, if PlayStation Experience is in fact in Anaheim this year, I'll probably go.
Yeah.
So, I will see about that. Yeah, San Diego Comic-Con is gonna be good, dude. You got lucky where you got all 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still astonished by that. Took me off guard. I didn't even get all 4 days because I didn't even really feel like it because I know that would absolutely break me. And it's good on YouTube because you get some time to yourself. And I'm going Thursday, Friday, Saturday for me. And, yeah, it's gonna be a good year. I mean, it's just getting started, dude. I feel like this month is going actually quite slow, even though we're it's just halfway done. So yeah, incredibly glad to be here. I mean, like the summertime also was difficult too because moving here was quite a bit. Had summer class, only like 2 classes. Not making it sound like oh my god, it's a lot. And then getting stuff sorted out with how school was going to get paid for the last semester. But luckily, it started around for the better of that. Scholarships. So thank God. And then once all that stuff was done, I had to just basically kind of get ready. And yeah.
Yep.
So that's what's really been going on, Dave. We're answering your question. I mean, we're going to go through these questions, not in rapid succession, but we're doing pretty good. We're on time right now. This is the only time I should be asked.
I mean, we're almost 20 minutes in, and we've talked.
Okay, good.
I mean, we talked a little bit about video games in these first 20 minutes.
Yeah, of course. Well, we're gonna. Okay, let's talk about some video games right now. You want to know a question right now?
Yeah.
From actually, a personal friend of mine, Saeed. How did you guys like Sony's E3 presentation? So now we're taking it back now to June.
Oh boy, see if I remember it.
Yeah. Oh, that's a real testament, right?
Well, I do remember being right because I think it was something I talked about sometime before that E3 even started. That I said that we probably weren't going to get any new announcements. Like I felt
exactly. You did say that. Yeah.
I said that, and I said like we probably weren't going to get any new big announcements. Like I think the only new thing we were going to see was probably maybe some VR stuff. And then pretty much everything else we see is just going to be extension of what we've already known, like God of War, Spider-Man, and all that. And I was correct on that front.
Yeah, and I mean, I agreed with you. I mean, no way was it going to be 2016.
No.
In that regard. No way. And yeah, you were right on the money on that. And yeah, I agreed with you. Look, here's the thing. And then there was that stupid audio glitch in the beginning where like things were not syncing up or whatever with the audio, or like it was off in the live stream or something. That was annoying and kind of embarrassing. I mean, it's been on for a while. It didn't break the whole presentation. I mean, the presentation itself was very akin to 2016, like where it was all fancy with the music and all that crap. Like, I gotta be honest with you, if that's going on again in 2017, I'm gonna kind of get a little annoyed. It's like, can it just start already? Like, do I need? I mean, hopefully God of War is already out by then, so we don't have like some big old music thing. Like, something like they might as well have like a freaking like Greatest Showman or some shit. Circus Soleil. Yeah. I mean, it's all neat and fancy, but it's like, how much do you need to spend on this? I mean, it's great and all, and then you have like what Days Gone, you have like the hanging bodies and shit. Like, can I just watch the gameplay? Um, anyways, I mean, it's all great. It's just it adds to the production value, which is great. But at the same time, kind of getting a little annoying.
That was just the thing. These last 2 years, they wanted to kind of
Up
step
the
away.
ante.
Yeah, and they wanted to kind of step away from the just normal like guy comes on stage and talks and just says, we're doing really great. We sold this many units and this and that, and here's a game, and then some guy comes up and talks about it a bit more, and then like they really wanted to step away from that and make it a real showcase of like let the game speak for themselves, and we kind of just populate the stage around it.
I guess where 2017's problem was because everything else was just updated of what we've seen before. It's like, what else can you say, right? And that's difficult. And yeah, I could see the case why Sony would want to stray away from that. I mean, that initial, not the initial announcement of Switch, but the conference that preceded the the official announcement, the YouTube one in October 2015? No, October 2016. And then in early 2017, we had that awful press conference, Nintendo, where I was incredibly sour on it. I was like, oh my god. You could see why they don't like doing that at all. That's why they do the directs. So, I guess I can't really fault them for that anymore because like we saw them do that kind of like traditional conference, and it was just so bad. But boy, was I pretty wrong on how the Switch was going to do after that. So, yeah. I mean, I was saying, like, oh, it's going to fail. Like, look at this.
Man, can't wait to see Mario Can we see Mario on PlayStation in 2019?
Yeah. I mean, it was like I was running the Spider-Man. I was like, Spider-Man. He's the right spec with Marvel. We got it. But, yeah, I was like, dude, are we going to expect Mario on PlayStation to build an Xbox? Like, it's pretty nice. And then, why have people turn? I mean, people had their concerns. I mean, it was an original thought. I mean, everybody else a lot of other people were concerned, too, about some of the initial things for Switch. I mean, and there's still concerns a little bit. I mean, we don't know what's going on with the online.
Yeah.
How that's going. Which is a pretty big part. And then those like screenshots that I was so mixed if they're real or fake about like the cloud storage and the themes and all that like basic functionality, and then still no virtual console. Those are really just the big things I can think on the top of my head. Other than that, fantastic system. I love it. But for me to really kind of entice myself to get my own, I actually really want that virtual console. Even though you'd have to pay for each game. But, I don't know. I really want that virtual console and some of the online things to be sorted out.
Yeah, I would like virtual console though, but for I don't really want the NES games too bad. I kind of want more of like
I want N64.
Yeah, I want N64. I want Wii U games. I want Wii games. Mm-hmm. I'd like to go back and play games like Super Mario Odyssey, not Odyssey. God, what was the one before Odyssey?
3D World?
No, the one before that on Wii.
Oh, Mario Galaxy?
Mario Galaxy, there you go.
Yeah, dude, Mario Galaxy, holy shit. You haven't even played those, right? Or did you play them a little bit? You dabbled in them.
Yeah, I played a little bit of Galaxy 1, and I never played Galaxy 2.
Ooh. Dude, you're in I believe I beat Galaxy 2, but I didn't 100% it. Because I only played that at my friend's house for so long. I 100%ed Mario Galaxy 1. Oh, dude, you're in a treat for both of those games.
Yeah, I would like that. And of course, like a Metroid collection thing.
Oh, God. Yeah, dude. I mean, I didn't play the third one, though. I only played Metroid Prime 1 and 2. Some of the best, first-person shooters. Yeah, you'll love those. And then Mario Galaxy. I mean, man, the big boy games. The God tier games. And then, yeah, I mean, I just want kind of some of that stuff sorted out with the Switch. But other than that, I mean, and then does the achievement thing bother me that much? A little, but I don't know if that's Nintendo to really make that call to make achievements or coins or whatever we hypothesized in the past. I forget. Yeah, but other than that, fantastic system. That had a decent showing at E3. even though they just did like the Treehouse thing in the direct. But bringing it back to Sony, very much just an update here. I mean, people honestly didn't even need to watch it. They could have just kind of got that typical recap that YouTube videos do all the time, where they're like, "Hey, catch this in like 10 minutes," and then see. Because like me and you have taken some steps to kind of back up our expectations now for a bit, on terms of like the hype of games and all that. And I have personally stopped watching things. Like, I have not even played Uncharted Lost Legacy yet, and I have not really seen much of it. Never watched any video reviews or anything like that for it because I didn't want to like spoil it. So once I ever get around to playing that, then I'm excited. But yeah, but for like long time games are still coming. I mean, like Death Stranding, like that trailer at Game Awards was great, but like still no gameplay. Death Stranding.
Yeah, you know how I feel about Death Stranding.
Well, same thing with me too, dude. I kind of have the same sentiment you have. Like, it's Kojima coming out every show with the Death Stranding shirt and being like, "Yep, Death Stranding."
Yep, but I'm like, the game.
But I'm like, just work on the game, dude. Don't even go to trade shows. Like, literally, you're going to like every major one and being like, "Oh, Death Stranding, it's coming." Got Norman Reedus with me. Got Mads Mikkelsen. That's great.
Yeah.
Finished the game.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's fine. Metal Gear Solid 5 came out in 2015. I mean, I would like the game by 2019. But wait, he was saying like the Akira thing, right? 2019 or something like that?
I don't know. He said before the next Olympics or something.
But next Summer Olympics.
Summer Olympics, there you go.
Yeah. Because we have the Winter Olympics coming up soon. Okay. Well, prayers to that. All right. I guess we could go on the next question, right?
Yeah, let's go to the next question.
All right. Yeah, I guess we're gonna tie it in with more conferences. Let's get this one from Sean via email on October. No, not October. Oh my God, December 26th. Oh, so after Christmas. I guess
that's recent. That's a recentest question. There you go.
Yeah. Oh my God, a bit of a hyperbole here.
Nope.
What was up with PlayStation experience this year? No conference? It was probably, and he spelled probably incorrectly, but I'm sorry. I just spit the grammar in me. It was probably the most boring show in Sony's history.
Okay, so here's the thing. So I didn't watch the thing because I was at work. So
oh no, I didn't watch it either.
I just saw the highlight announcements. So what did they do? Did they even have a show? What was it? Well, how did they announce this stuff? There was stuff that was announced.
I mean, look, I'm not gonna shit on PlayStation experience this year because like it's that kind of thing of like if I was actually there myself, I'll be like, oh my God, it was like the greatest thing ever. But from an outsider's perspective, it was very boring. It was very much an amalgamation of so many panels, really. And then they had that kind of not so much a press conference, but like just talking about things like on a couch. And then that's where that kind of infamous Twitter gif where people were like barely at half excitement. They were like clapping and they're just like they were like
so
bored.
They did like the Ubisoft thing where they just talked on the couch.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like how Aisha did with talking about South Park and Star Trek Bridge Command for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean that's something that your company could do. EA they could very much use some like sitting down, relaxing, sitting on the couch and be like, all right guys, let's level with you guys. We had a rough 2017. I know you guys are angry. Let's bring on Dice here and let's sit with them on the couch for a little bit. they could use a couch. I'm just throwing that out there. Oh God, I don't know how Ubisoft's going to come back in 2017. No, not Ubisoft. EA. But PlayStation Experience, look, it was more updates. Here's the excuse I can even lend for this. They had the Paris Games Week. They had a lot of things that they showed off there. Like, they gave more of an update on Oh god, I almost said Beyond Two Souls. Not Too Human. Detroit Become Human. God,
Yeah.
it's such a subpar title. I mean, but whatever. But it looks incredible though. I love it. Not gonna really watch too much of it though, because I already know like it already looks great. The story is gonna be top notch. Even though a lot of people like to shit on David Cage though, like my friends are all like, David Cage is a hack. He's awful. But I'm like, whatever. I mean, I like Heavy Rain. Beyond Two Souls, I still need to like really dig into a little bit more because I've got the remaster on PS4, so I want to play that more. But it was intriguing because I did the Beyond Two Souls where you played in order. So then I never played Indigo Prophecy, but it's on PS4 now, if I'm correct, because there were so many discrepancies of when that was coming out.
Yeah, I already have it on PS4. I played it on PS4.
Okay, so that's out now. Because remember when like it was going to like it was like so like oh no.
Yeah, because we talked about the show like it's coming out next week, and then like next week it's like no, it's coming out in like 4 months. You know, it's just some random last minute delay, and it came out like 4 months later.
Yeah, and then I guess maybe we should talk about this kind of talking point too about Last of Us Part 2. Was that trailer E3? No, not E3. Was that trailer PlayStation Experience or Game Awards?
Not Game Awards, because it wasn't the most recent one, right?
Yeah, that long form trailer.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't. It was probably the one before Game Awards because it wasn't that recent.
Yeah, did you watch that?
No.
Oh, really? Wow. I mean, I watched it.
Just,
I mean, okay.
Well, I mean,
you
it's like
my line on yeah, you were talking about I mean, here's my line on where I'm gonna stop watching Last of Us 2. After the gameplay demo at E3, I'm gonna stop watching it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's one of those things too where the new trailer got some controversy or whatever, and I didn't watch it, so it's I don't know. But like, I don't know. Even the game director was already saying how like that very first trailer we saw with her playing the guitar, like that's not even in the game.
Well, I mean, it's kind of the original trailer of the original Last of Us.
Yeah, and I mean
that part wasn't even.
And again, that was something I said on the show when we first saw the trailer. I'm like, this is probably not even in game. This is just something made solely for the point of the announcement of the game. You know. Because
we had so many people speculate like if Joel's even like alive.
Yes, and that's what I was saying was that no, this probably isn't even in game. This is probably just something CG created just to announce the game, and this is not something from game. And yeah, Neil Druckmann has said that recently that that first trailer is not even in game. Like that's not anything that's in the game.
Yeah, it's very much like how all the past Naughty Dog initial trailers are like. Okay. Yeah. Exception from Uncharted 3. That shit was in the game. The original Uncharted 3 trailer.
Yeah.
But I think like some gameplay bits that they showed off like after that plane crash thing, where it's not in the final game. But that's beside the point. Like that scene in Uncharted 4 where it was like in the sand, that wasn't in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, the location was in the game, obviously. But what do you think? How their approach to marketing this game is in terms of, even though you haven't seen a trailer, where they like to play up the mystery a bit with it, like, oh, who is this gonna be? Like kind of like how Star Wars, I guess, right? With,
the word like it's
what do you think of that? Do you think that's a little strange? Like, I'm like, is that what Last of Us is? No,
I mean, no, but it's just one of like, why is it such a big deal? Names of characters, like, why is it?
Yeah,
because I mean, most of the time, you acknowledge a character by their first name anyway, and then something like Last of Us, where it's not a big deal because, like, I mean, look at even Last of Us, like, they don't even have last names. Like, Joel doesn't have a last name.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel. I mean, hell, they even hired one of the Westworld writers. Like, that show is like full of mystery too.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just feel like they're twisting it a little bit. I'm like, Last of Us is not really about the mystery. Okay, yeah, it is, but like, we don't need to like dwell on that.
Yeah, because you look at something like Last of Us, it's a fantastic game and a great showcase for storytelling and all that, but it is very straightforward. Mm-hmm. It's not trying to manipulate you and try to trick you and say, oh, what you're seeing isn't real or whatever. Or, even really big significant twists. It's just pure human character interaction that makes it so good. And it's one of those things where, like, why are you trying to make Last of Us 2 into this mysterious thing? Because
that's not what it is. Like, I hated, like, I kind of hated that tweet that Neil put out, like, who's this? Can you guess? I'm like, no. I don't really care. Are you really going to make people go on message boards and be like, for years and be like, oh, who's this? And yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like,
oh my
but
god,
like, but I mean, Uncharted was able to do it because like, wasn't that one of their taglines was like "Uncover the truth" or something? I think that was the third game.
yeah, well,
Was Discover the Truth or something?
What was it? Well, no, we already knew Drake's brother initially, right? Like we already know who he was. Or did we?
No, because we talked about this.
We
like,
didn't know who Sam.
They didn't even acknowledge his brother in Uncharted 3.
It was just a made-up character.
Yeah, they made up the character in between 3 and 4 because we talked about it. Like they have that whole
Yeah, I
scene
know.
in Uncharted 3
Yeah.
where they go over his family history and they never mention his brother once in that
Yeah.
thing. And then it's like, oh, you have a brother in Uncharted 4.
Yeah. I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
At first, I was a little bit like, but
Yeah, and then
who am I to say? It's like the third Indiana Jones, where like, oh, Indy, you have a brother, huh? It's like if Indiana Jones' dad stopped him for a bit, like they were up on that Zeppelin, right?
Yeah.
And they were like, Indy, did you know you also have a brother? He's all like, what, Dad? Sorry, that was my worst Harrison Ford impression. But yeah, that was. Yeah. I so now with the fact that Amy Hennig game, Star Wars game is canned, basically. I really wonder how Uncharted 4 would have gone down in a alternate dimension.
Yeah, I mean, we already speculated a bit.
Yeah,
where,
yeah, we did. But like, I still like more than ever now. I want to go in that. I want to be like the Flash, take a tear in time, and be like, Amy, guess what? This is not going to work out for you. Do not make this decision. And then be like, she'll be like, okay. And then she takes over Uncharted 4, and then Uncharted 4 is like a completely different game.
Yeah, Drake's brother's the bad guy and all that.
Like, oh god. Well, okay, maybe we would have had some repetition from Uncharted 2 here, but
that's what it was. That's what that initial teaser was implying, was that Drake's brother was the bad guy.
Yeah. Yeah, that initial trailer of like the voiceover.
The voiceover thing, because that was like Drake's brother.
Oh, I forgot about that trailer. I forget about that one.
Well, because he's talking all menacing, like you left me in that hellhole for 15 years or whatever, and like and then that's what Drake's brother ended up doing. He was in that jail for 15 years, and it's just one of those things where, in the game he's just like whatever, But then in that teaser thing, he was like no.
Yeah, you play it out in the beginning of the game. Yeah. Of Uncharted 4. I mean, sorry for spoiling it. I mean, come on, PlayStation owners. I hope you played it at this point.
Yeah. And these are vague. These aren't too specific.
Nah, but I mean, I'm going to throw you a hard question here. Even though it's like one that maybe... Which game would you think it would have been better? Look, I still think Uncharted 4 stands as the best in the series. Still. Even though I've only played it... I played it about 2 times. Which is low compared to the other Uncharted games. But I mean, I'll probably play it again some other time. But I still think it's the best in the series. Do you still kind of stand by that Uncharted 4 is the best one? Or
yeah, I think so, because...
I still think so, yeah.
Because it's one of those things where, like, I'm not going to say Uncharted 2 is the best, because that's just the one everyone's overrated on.
I mean, it's not overrated. I mean, it's just... It deserves the praise that it gets. I mean, 2009... I mean, at that time... It was astonishing to get a game like that at its time. I completely understand that. But Uncharted 3, I can understand people's some qualms with Uncharted 3, but I still love Uncharted 3 so much. Like, that game is fantastic.
Yeah.
But Uncharted 4 has those character moments from Uncharted 3 that we loved, turned up to, like, 11.
Yeah, there's so many good character moments in Uncharted 3, and then, Uncharted 4 really brings it home in a way. And
yeah, oh my god.
And it's just this. Hey, there's a whole episode of Uncharted 4 that we talk about. You can guys go check out.
Oh, yeah, but some time has passed, and we're not off that high that when we played it, and I still think it still stands as that, and that's the core of the Naughty Dog thing. Like that's still why I don't want Last of Us 2 to be this mystery trickery, because you know what's also going to hinder? It's also going to hinder kind of like replayability in a way, because like. I played the shit out of the original Last of Us. Like, I played that game so much. And, I don't know, I just don't want it to be this big old mystery thing, Like, who's this guy? Like,
what's this guy? Yeah, because there's nothing to draw from. It's only one game in. There's not this deep lore of, like, other characters.
Yeah, it's not like Star Wars where, like, people were wondering about Rey's parentage for 2 years.
Yeah, or whatever, So it's like, who cares these characters are?
Yeah, right? I mean, odds are they're going to die anyways. But yeah, hopefully Um, that answered your question, I guess. Sean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't know. What else? Am I even trying to think of my wild train of thought here? Game Awards.
Mm-hmm.
Is there even anything really notable about Game Awards? Aside from Death Stranding.
Death Stranding. I don't even
Nothing
remember.
really, dude. I mean, it was full of indie titles, which is not a bad thing. Nothing really, huh? Not that you had to compile any of this. I mean, the whole idea of this show was to catch up.
To catch up, we're just catching up on things. Yeah, I kind of just went into this episode like I didn't have anything written down. I just kind of wanted to go over some, go back on some viewer questions, go over some things,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, probably a big one that I guess a viewer or listener, Freddy26@gmail.com brought up. I probably shouldn't have given out that email, but
that whole email.
I mean, nobody's gonna spam him. He'll be okay. Freddie, if you get anything, just
Change your email.
Change your email. It's easy. You can just make another account. It's not that big of a deal. On December 2nd, he asked about Destiny 2 and how that game is going. He's basically kind of on the fence to get it for Christmas, even though Christmas has already passed.
So he may already have the game.
He may already have the game already, but
so
I guess we could just talk about. Yeah, exactly. We did, but I guess maybe we could just talk about Destiny 2 because, like, I played that game a little bit when it did come out, and then it was funny having my friend trick him because we were like, my friend was like, "Hey, dude, there's an Easter egg down there." I watched the IGN guide, and then he fell down and died. He was like, "Nah, dude, I watched the IGN guide. Just go down there." He's like, "Okay." And then he fell down. And he was like, "Chris, what'd you do?" But
yeah. So
man, Destiny 2, yeah.
Destiny 2.
Did you get around to that one?
Yeah, I bought Destiny 2 right when it came out, and it was one of those things where, I wasn't one of the people that was hating on Destiny 1. Like, I don't think Destiny, like, my thing for Destiny 1 is that it's nothing amazing, but I think it's just a fun time with friends,
Yes, I mean, I will at least attest to that. I mean, I cannot at least deny I had some form of enjoyment when I played it in the first month. But then I had stated, after all the countless updates about Destiny, it's like, so much has changed in that game. It's like,
I mean, so much has changed even now because I haven't actually played it probably since September. So like, I don't know. Yeah, so September, October. So like, I don't have even been messing with the new stuff they've been putting out. Like, there's a new DLC already out. There's been some new events out. There's the whole microtransaction thing they're trying to double back on, go backwards on. So it's just one of those things where it's kind of odd, but I did enjoy my time with Destiny 1 in month 1, as far as the whatever version that game was at in month 1. Enjoyed my time, played with some friends, and it wasn't a radical overhaul of Destiny 1 because it's one of the things where when I played the beta of Destiny 2, I was just like, what the hell, this is the same game. Because there was those reports like, oh, Destiny 2 is going to be a completely different game than Destiny 1.
Well, like, I was thinking it. I mean, you played all the Halo games. I mean, you saw that jump from Halo 1 to Halo 2. I mean, they're not really the same.
No,
I mean, they have the same like kind of gameplay stuff of Halo, but you played from. I mean, you noticed that Halo 1 to Halo 2 jump. I mean, they even kind of said it themselves, even though I would like to find it on record. But they stated, "They're like, yeah, we want to make this big jump." They talked about it.
Yeah, I thought that jump from Halo 1 to was solid because I actually hate Halo 1. Like,
okay, I can't blame you.
Well, because
I love Halo 1.
Yeah, well, as someone who's never played it when it first came out and then kind of recently played it for the first time within like a year, I think it's an awful game. Halo 2 is a solid game though. Like Halo 2 is a much improved version of what Halo 1 was.
Oh yeah.
But I think Halo 1 was awful. And Halo
the campaign. You didn't dig the campaign.
Yeah, I didn't play the multiplayer split screen, whatever the hell it was they had in that game.
I mean, I played that a crap ton.
Yeah, I understand that, but from a single player perspective of someone who's playing for the first time ever in 2017, it's an awful game.
Yeah.
So and then Halo 2 is a much better game. But yeah, so the jump between Destiny 1 and 2 wasn't that big, but it was an improvement. There were just little things that made it better. Just like the more emphasis on story. Like there's actual cutscenes, that are like cinematic.
Oh yeah, they look nice.
Look good, nice.
I'll
you
give
got
them
a
that.
central kind of story and conflict thing going. So there's a lot of just story improvements, just some gameplay things. So it is a better game. It's just another one of those things where my friends were playing it so much that first month that,
Yeah,
and I couldn't keep up with them because work schedule and all that, and then now they're kind
of
of done,
course.
and now they're kind of done with it until probably the next big expansion because I know they just did one, but it's like the small expansion. Like Destiny 1 didn't get that big life again until Taken King came out. So I don't know if my friends are ever going to get back into it. If they get another big expansion or something, but. Yeah, it is a game, though, I kind of wish I could put a little bit more time into, because I do think it's fun, but it's only fun with friends. And it's...
Yeah. Well, let's hope Destiny 2 gets a second life, because you know how I am in the player statistics and things, but, like, supposedly the player base of Destiny 2 has significantly dropped off since its release, more so than Destiny 1. Now, look, there's still the big fan base that still plays the game, of course, but from what I heard, the player base has dropped pretty big, even more so than the original Destiny was released. Now, a few things could be attributed to that. First of all, from Destiny 1 to 2, the amount of people that got it. But Destiny 2 was still ranked as one of the top-selling games of the year.
Yeah.
Wasn't it the highest-selling game of the year up until Call of Duty World War II?
I think so, because the thing about Destiny 2, because the funny thing, too, about Destiny was that when Destiny 2 came out, my GameStop did the late night launch thing.
Oh,
and,
they did.
They did, and I say late night because it used to be midnight, but now they do it based on your time zone, so technically they sell it to us at 11 o'clock here.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
But anyway, so they sold it at that time, and I usually go to these things when I can, and the last couple I've gone to, like, barely anybody showed up. And I can't remember exactly what games they were, but I remember going to some last couple times, like, barely anybody showed up. Like, nobody was there, it was just me and maybe, like, 3 other people getting a game, whatever. Destiny 2, no. People were out the door and, like, around the corner to get this game at midnight or whatever.
I feel like the games that people camp out for on midnight launch is just like Activision games. Like, it's really attributed to like the digital sales now of things, and I don't know. I don't see people camp out much for like EA games or like Ubisoft games. I feel like it's like for the big Activision heavy hitter titles that people go out midnight for.
Yeah, but the problem with midnight launches though is that now it's kind of hurt.
What's the point?
Now. Well, it's kind of what the point is, because like you buy the game, you come home, you have to put it in, you have to install it, you got to update it. And games like Destiny have like massive like 4 gig updates or something on the first day. So you're not even playing them, right at midnight. You're not jumping on with your friends and all that. And it is kind of like almost prioritized based on who has the better internet. Like, oh, my internet's really fast, I'm already in. And then some other guy like me who has basic internet is just like, well, I'm going to bed. I'll see you tomorrow when my stuff's
Yeah, same.
So, you do get that head start in the fact that you don't have to install it the next day. Like, you can start installing it at midnight and then play it the next morning. But you don't get that thing of like, yeah, I'm going to get home at midnight and I'm going to be playing at midnight, because you got to update your stuff.
Yeah.
And all that. So it just kind of takes away from that. And that's kind of where the digital advantage comes in, because if you buy it digitally, you can preload it and have the updates preloaded. So right at midnight, you're good to go.
Where do I even go off for Destiny 2? Because due to the fact that I only played a little bit. What disappoints me the most is that, and then I said to myself after all the things that I've heard about Destiny 2, it's just like, I kind of just like scratched my head and was like, oh my god. We have like how many years of this shit?
Bungie's 10-year plan.
Yeah, the 10-year supposed 10-year plan.
So how many years has it been since Destiny 1 came out?
Oh my god. Well, I'm wondering when that 10-year plan initially started.
I'm assuming it starts at the launch of Destiny 1.
I would kind of like to not believe that. I would like to think it when the development started of Destiny 1. I would to get
it has to be a 10-year plan of content, right? So Destiny 1's year 1 of content, then you have your expansions to it, then you got your Destiny 2, then you got expansions to Destiny 2, and then
So that was my initial kind of thing about hearing about like if you already didn't like Destiny, it's like, well, this game's not even going to sway you at all. And that was basically kind of like the consensus. You know, I'm just like, well,
Yeah.
I was like, well, god damn it. And then I played it a little bit. I was like, all right, this shooting still feels fine and everything. Riding that sparrow around is great, but like, this game's still pretty boring. And I just don't really care about anything that's around me, and it's neat interacting with some people in like the hub
Sounds
area.
like another Bungie game.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm just like, I don't know. I didn't even really play it that much, honestly. And then all this stuff that came out with alongside it, all this baggage with that people are posting about the microtransactions and all that. It's just, oh my god! Like, it had to get caught in that baggage, and they were doing fine, like initially, but then once this event stuff came out, it doesn't even matter. People have posted long form videos about this and explain it in better detail because due to the fact that they've actually played the game. So I'm sure people can direct toward those where they can explain it in better detail. But I don't know. I mean, I just watched some of that. I'm just like, oh my god, why? And it's silly too. I mean, they still have some stuff that they need to fix too that hasn't been fixed yet. And I mean, if I had to list some of those things, we've been talking about that for like hours. So, and it's not even probably even worth my breath talking about. So, I don't know. Let's talk about something else in Destiny 2. I don't hate the game. I'm just at the same time kind of just a bit sour. It's just like I don't really care. Let's see what else here. Oh god, another sour apple into 2017 here that I don't even know if I even want to pick right now.
Okay, well, we can skip it.
I mean, yeah, no, let's just get it because it was a big deal in 2017. Battlefront 2. Now, Battlefront 2 was a game.
It was a game.
Much like another game like PUBG or something. It was a game that was released in 2017. That also had quite a fair amount of baggage. Yeah, I played a little bit of Battlefront 2. Like, my friend was so on the fence about getting it, and then we got it just like he got it like the weekend it came out because he's all like, screw it, I'm gonna get it. And I'm just like, dude, I'm like, I have a friend of mine that's gonna maybe get it. Like, why are you gonna get it? But then he was just like, he likes to splurge on some things. He's like, oh, I'm just gonna get it. I'm gonna get the deluxe edition. I'm like, dude, don't even get the deluxe edition. He's like, I'm gonna get the deluxe edition. I'm just like, oh my god, just get the regular one. He's like, no, I'm just gonna get the deluxe edition. And he traded it in like a week and a half after. I was like, oh my god, what was the point? But anyways, played a bit of the single player. Wasn't impressed. And the cutscenes look great. I really took the cutscenes. Voice acting is odd across the board. What is that Yoda? I don't like. Granted, you don't even have to listen to him talk really at all. But like, what is that Yoda? At least they got Daisy Ridley, so that's nice. But I don't know. I just did not find that single player fun at all. And then from what I watched in the multiplayer, it just, at least on the PlayStation 4 version, but you have different versions of Battlefront, so who knows? Even I don't know how you can test it. Like, I mean, that initial week was so laggy. I was like, oh my god. I was getting flashbacks to how the initial launch of Call of Duty Black Ops 2 was on the PlayStation 3 and how bad that was. I was like, oh my god, like, how is this so laggy? But other than that, like, it's hard to say now how with all the updates with it now, and that's excluding even the microtransaction baggage that's along that, because like I didn't even really care about that much because of the way that I played the game. So, and then now the game has just been like, oh, if I'm over at some friend's house or something, it's like, oh, you have Battlefront 2? Let's play split screen. Let's do 1v1 with the heroes. That's all it is now, at least for me. So that's really just like my experience with the game, because like I never even really played it online. Never really cared. So like, you know,
yeah, it's just,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird for me because like I bought it for Xbox.
Yeah, you have it on Xbox One.
X. Oh.
It's still Xbox One. Let's
Xbox.
back it up here.
Yeah, because Xbox One X enhancements and all that.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you, dude. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
yeah. So I've been playing on Xbox, and at the time when I was playing on Xbox, I didn't have Xbox Live Gold, so I wasn't playing it online.
ooh.
And I still have yet to play it online because I just don't care.
Yep, exactly. As far as
so I'm playing the single player. I'm playing the campaign, and I'm like, yeah, I'm with you on like, man, this looks so good though.
Yeah, right.
Like,
well, that's the thing. I told you to get an Xbox
weird.
One
Like,
X for that.
But I feel the game looks better than the cutscenes to me because I know you said that you like the cutscenes. I feel like the game itself looks better than the cutscenes.
Okay, it's especially Call of Duty World War II, where the cutscenes look kind of slightly off from the game. I mean, they still look great.
I mean, I guess it's kind of part of it is that whole like thing we talked about a long ass time ago. Like what I said with you know what game I'm about to talk about, Battlefield Hardline, where it did that thing where like the cutscenes were like 30 frames per second. The cutscenes were 30 frames per second, and the gameplay was 60 frames per second. And since it did that transition thing, where it's like this is the cutscene transition into the gameplay, it kind of did this weird jump because of the graphical change. Star Wars Battlefront doesn't do that in the sense that you instantly cut from a cutscene. It doesn't like slide into gameplay. You know, it will literally cut. Like here's the cutscene, cut, and now you're in gameplay. So you don't feel that transition, but you do see it.
You want to know one that's guilty of that big time?
Which one?
Call of Duty World War II.
World War II does that.
Yeah, a lot. Pretty bad. At least from what I've seen so far of the campaign, from when I played it. I mean, I have Call of Duty World War II myself. I have yet to play the campaign. But yeah, I heard it's pretty bad. I heard the control is just taking you away from you so much. Now, this doesn't surprise me because, I mean, it's Sledgehammer. They do this a lot. I mean, if anybody that's played the Advanced Warfare campaign knows, same thing. So it didn't surprise me that much. I'm also we'll talk. Oh god, Call of Duty World War II also. Yeah, 2017's been a little rough at the AAA side, if in case you guys haven't noticed. So I don't know. How do you think the campaign? So you're kind of, I mean,
I thought
a little sour on it.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I didn't finish it. I had like
two.
I had like one or two missions left, and I thought it was fine. Like I said, I think just even as a visual showcase, like I said, because I got a Xbox, I said, Xbox One X. So I just wanted to see the enhancements, and it does just look fantastic. It is one of the best looking games I think I've played on my Xbox. And
yeah, dude, it
just looks fantastic. And I thought core gameplay's fine. You're kind of doing stealthing and shooting's fine, but I think even from the story itself, though, I felt was just kind of like, what's the point?
Lame.
Lame.
Yeah, the story was lame.
It's a lot of fanfare, you know, like. Oh look, you guys like Luke Skywalker, here's Luke Skywalker. You guys like Leia, here's Leia. You guys like this, so it's just one of those things where like, it's just trying to kind of like feels like it's trying to check off some boxes, you know.
That's what very much the game feels like. The whole game as a whole, it's like it's doing it because they had to, like the prequel content, the space battles,
and then
all
like
that,
they can't even like. It's it's not even full on spoiler territory, but like even the big thing, who cares, right? It's not that big of a canon story, but it's just one of those things where like a big selling point where everybody kept saying in the preview cycle for this game was like, oh, it's a game where you see it from the viewpoint of the Empire, but like that Empire viewpoint only lasts like 2 missions.
Yeah.
Like after the first 2 levels, your character's just like, nope, the Empire is bad. I'm joining the rebellion, you know, and it's like. What was the point of the whole marketing campaign of like
for that
of the Empire, like really emphasizing the hell out of it, like you are the Empire or whatever, and like it's such a small point of the story, you know. And then again, it goes back to that checking off the box thing because it's like, oh hey, you got to be in a TIE fighter 2 missions ago. Guess what? Now you get to be an X-wing fighter because you switch sides, you know.
None. The whole game as a whole doesn't even feel like an organic product. It just feels like something that just had to happen. Because you know, it's on the cycle of the movies, you know, of the mainline movies, not the story movies. Well, even that, because even the original Battlefront had DLC with Rogue One. Mm-hmm. It's just feeling like it's because they had to. That's all it is. There's like no extra. and that's not even considering the microtransaction stuff. That stuff was embarrassing. I was like, oh my god. I mean, for one, I wasn't even really surprised at how badly EA has screwed this up. And then, to put salt on the wound, we had the announcement of the Amy Hennig game being cut off. So that was a big deal. And then, what was it? Visceral. They shut down. Yeah, and we love Visceral on the PSBS. We love them so much. And, rest in peace now. This is the first acknowledgement of Visceral since their demise. Very unfortunate. They were one of the most talented studios in gaming. I feel this one has hit pretty hard, like how when Pandemic shut down. Oh, another victim of EA.
Yeah.
Right, and it's just like, damn, like, guess we're not gonna hold out for another Dead Space.
Yeah. There actually update on that the other day.
No shit. Well, what is it?
Well, not an update, but basically somebody from Visceral was saying that EA put so much money into the Dead Space IP that they won't sell it for cheap.
Oof.
Like if somebody wants to like buy the Dead Space IP and like continue it on, like they would have like EA will ask like an insane amount for that IP.
You're joking. No, that's bullshit. Like, who are they to say that Dead Space is this immensely important property? Not that it is.
Well,
look, I'm not.
I mean, it's to recoup their losses because they put so much money into it. Because that was the thing. Like Dead Space, like EA had plans to make Dead Space into a big ass thing. Like that.
They wanted it to.
That gap between Dead Space 2 and 3, they had like so many like spin-off ideas already planned. There was like, oh, we want to do a first-person shooter game that's set in the Dead Space universe. We want to do a there was some other spin-off game they had planned, and they did make some of them because we did see Extraction for Wii. Which eventually got ported over to
PlayStation 3.
Yeah, PS3. I mean, with Move support. Man, if only that game get ported to VR.
I don't know about that, but
yeah, man. And then there was that other. What was the PSN game? What was it called?
Yeah, that lame ass PSN game with the puzzle.
The puzzles and stuff. I played that one. So that was just like the first.
And then we had novels and games.
Novels, and then the animated movies.
And then comics too, maybe.
Did they do comics? I don't think they did comics. I think it was just.
Oh, okay. Maybe, I'll step it back.
Yeah, there were some animated movies, and there's 2 animated movies, the 2 spin-off games, and all that. And they really wanted to make this into a thing, and then I just don't know what happened. And then Dead Space 3 came out, and like they had like those insane projections of like what they wanted that game to sell.
Yeah, and then we had the microtransaction.
The microtransaction controversy,
which wasn't a huge deal at the time.
No, but it was still something. And then the co-op threw fans off, and Dead Space, and we defend it all the time here on the show. Dead Space 3 is not a bad game.
It's not. It's
in any way.
It's far from it, actually. And thinking about it now, even after the Visceral shutdown, I revere that game even more. Like, I still like it.
Yeah, and it's just, I just don't know what happened there. EA had just some insane expectations for that game, and they put so much money into just that one game, and they just couldn't make their money back, and they just shut everything down.
The only developer in the world I can imagine taking on Dead Space, and I know it's going to sound predictable here. You're probably going to know what I'm going to say. If Capcom takes Dead Space and Resident Evil 7's it, where it's like,
oh boy.
A new right, in a way where it's like a new experience for the franchise, like first person and shit. Like, oh my god, it's in VR too.
Yeah, it's in VR. Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, right. How's that?
Yeah, but realistically,
where, they take it, Resident Evil 7, it, forget the other 3 games, just maybe tie it in a way because Resident Evil 7 ties in things with the other games, right?
Yeah.
So just Resident Evil 7 it in a way.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, realistically, I don't even know. Yeah, realistically, I don't even know what developer would take on Dead Space because it's one of those things where like Capcom really doesn't need it because they already have the Resident Evil franchise. I would love Bethesda to do it because of Evil Within, but they have Evil Within. They don't need Dead Space. They have that game in their lineup. That survival horror game. So the only thing I could see would be some new studio or something just that's really passionate about the franchise and is like, we want to make it. How it's supposed to be.
Kind of akin to like where Machine Games kind of came out of nowhere and kind of revitalized Wolfenstein.
Exactly, something like that.
Or just some European developer out of nowhere is like, hey, we'll show you how it's done.
Yeah.
And then they blow us away with like a Dead Space. It's like, holy shit.
Like, hey, Sony, remember when you had Isaac in freaking PlayStation All-Stars? He's a PlayStation All-Star, right? Don't Sony want to pick this up? Pick up the Dead Space franchise?
Now, look, I'm not sour on Sony Computer Entertainment, but I mean, they already got a lot on their plate. They need to release some more games first before they can even take on this.
Yeah, but every game Sony has in development is coming out in 2018, so, you know.
Supposedly.
I think half of them are going to end up... Oh boy, we want to get into this?
Yeah, might as well.
Might as well. So, God of War's for sure coming out this year.
Yeah, and it's disappointing. Like, some people have gotten some industry... No, but here's a little thing that I'll throw around really quick that you can maybe get some thoughts on. About, like, supposedly God of War's pre-order numbers are incredibly soft, supposedly. Like, some people have said that, speculate out there, you don't even know if this is a fact. People are throwing non-facts that, like, more people pre-ordered God of War 2 than God of War on PS4.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, I'm
like, there was no pre-ordering wasn't really a thing back then.
Well, okay, no, I might have to step that back technically. I did pre-order Battlefront 2 back in the day on PS2.
From where?
LucasArts.com. No, dude, I swear to God, dude, I got the shirt and everything. I have a Star Wars Battlefront 2 shirt from 2006 or 2005.
For pre-ordering?
Yeah, I pre-ordered.
Is that shirt like worth money now or something?
Maybe. I might have to look into that.
It just says I pre-ordered Battlefront 2. You know, the good one.
No, it's just the logo of Battlefront 2. It just says Battlefront 2 and has a LucasArts thing in the year.
And parentheses, the good one, the good Battlefront 2. Back in the day. But that's funny.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It was a non-fact. I felt like someone threw around on the internet where people were like, God of War 2 sold more than God of War on PS4. What is Santa Monica doomed?
It's just, I've talked about this so much on the show. It's just, I don't get why people are so against this new God of War game. You know, it's...
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I am actually personally shocked. Did people not remember God of War Ascension?
Yeah.
Like, seriously. Did people just honestly want the same God of War game just visually upgrade on PS4? Seriously? The game already looks fine enough, like, on PS3. Like, I played God of War 3 on the PS4 with the enhancements. It looks incredible. Like, the game holds up so well. Why do you want, like, a PS4 level graphics of that same hack and slash?
Yeah,
like,
it's just...
Seriously? We have 5 games of that. Wait, no. 6?
6.
Or 6? What more do you want?
You know, it's like, just... we talked about this. It's just... You know, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you made a game that's pretty much the same thing, everybody's going to complain you put out the same game. And if you make a game that's too different, you get this thing we're going through right now, where it's like, oh, you're not following the game's roots. And you know, it's like you just said, we had 6 God of War games that followed a very similar formula. Like, it has a locked camera. You do combos. You kill enemies. You go to the boss. And yes, it's great. It's fun. It's amazing. But I did it 6 times already now. Like, I'm okay with this game being different, whether it's good or not. You know, I'm not saying if it's going to be the right call or not, but it is it's something to try. It's worth the try.
Didn't the market speak to that once God of War Ascension came out?
Yeah, God of War Ascension was the game that was the game that showed that this franchise and formula is running out of steam. You know, so this is the game the franchise needed. Okay, with this new God of War.
Look, maybe I think if you ask PlayStation fans around, I don't think people are really against God of War on PS4. I think there is probably a minority out there that are just like, nah, I don't even want a game like this.
Yeah, but like, there's people I see comments, they're like offended by this game. Like, this is not God of War. This is not, this is insulting to the fans and stuff. And then there was that report the other day, like, oh, you can't jump in the new God of War game. And that threw everyone into a fit. There's no jump button.
Well, I mean, there's no jump in The Last of Us.
So, everybody's just freaking the hell out over this game. And it's weird because, like, I'm so hyped for this game. Like,
me too, dude.
I'm so excited for this game.
Let me tell you, aside from Red Dead, which, oh my god, gonna throw on the side, if we do not see gameplay of Red Dead Redemption by April,
This is really funny if you listen to last week's or last episode.
Because I said it was going to get delayed.
You said this exact thing in the last episode, 95.
Well, I was right.
Seven months
it wasn't
ago.
delayed yet. Because it wasn't delayed back then, and it got delayed.
Yeah.
Okay, but let me throw in a pin here again. If we do not get a gameplay trailer akin to GTA 5's gameplay trailer in 2012, like how that was, the game's getting delayed to 2019. I'm telling you.
I just don't see it because like
why? Oh god.
Because that's the weird thing.
Gaming.
Gaming is weird. Because I mean, look at games. Look at the games right now. Okay, look at God of War. We've seen gameplay of it. We've seen trailers. We've seen gameplay, and we still don't have a release date. Like everyone said, it was probably going to be March because that's usually when God of War games come out in March. It ain't coming out in March.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not. If it was coming out in March, we would know that by now. You know, Sony's not going to announce the release date tomorrow and be like, "Hey, this game comes out in 2 months." You know.
No wonder the pre-order numbers are so low.
Yeah. So it's one of those things too, where like, you know, give people a firm release date, then people will go pre-order. Because I don't pre-order anything without a release date.
I don't even pre-order anything at all anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, the last thing I pre-ordered was Shadow of Mordor, and even that I felt like I was taking a risk.
Yeah.
But it didn't matter because that was 2014's Game of the Year.
But yeah, so it's one of those things where like I'm not going to pre-order God of War until I see a release date. And there was there was one like leaked out release date a while back that said May, and that could maybe happen. I just still feel like that's maybe still even too soon considering the fact that they haven't announced it yet because it's 4 months off. You know,
I feel like it would be a good summer game.
It would be a good summer game, but what did they say at E3? Early 2018, and I'm like, what is defined as early 2018?
At least before it's halfway over.
Before the halfway point.
Before it's halfway over. Before you feel like
early would be the first. I feel early would be the first 3 to 4 months, but this isn't coming out in March or April. You know, and I just don't know what the time frame is from announcement to release date. Like, if they announce the release date tomorrow and say it's coming out in May, that's 4 months from now. Is that like a good time frame to be like this comes out in 4 months?
No.
So yeah.
Well. Okay, wait. When was God of War originally announced? It was E3 2016.
Yes.
When it was formally shown, we've gotten musings about not Call of Duty, God of War on PS4 for a long time, so we knew it was coming.
Yeah.
But we got the like official thing. You know what? A 4-month rollout where it can have like another thing. I mean, they had that other extended gameplay footage at PSX or Paris.
Yeah.
Games Week. All these things are meshing together. I'm even shocked that I can't even remember some of this shit. We had that. I think okay. I'm thinking about it a little bit more. A 4-month rollout, fine. I mean, wait. They had that Game Informer cover thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fine. It's on the cover of Game Informer. It's getting all this preview coverage. Fine. It can. I mean, despite the fact that I'm not even going to watch it because I'm going to play the damn game anyway.
It can. But it would have to be announced this month, like for it to come out in May. You know, for that 4-month rollout.
Really? By the end of so you're expecting the PlayStation blog post or press release to be by the end of this month?
By the end of this month, we got to get a release date for God of War, right?
How about I'll give it a little longer than that. I'll give it by the middle of February.
Middle of February. But that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, Sony didn't have a big exclusive for the first 2 months, that February window, because like last February they had Horizon.
At least Horizon.
And then they had The Order was in February of whatever year.
Yeah. 2013?
13 or something. So it was one of those things.
No, 2014. 2014. Because 2013 was the launch of PlayStation 4, and then 2014.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things where like Sony has done that, released a big exclusive in that kind of like first 2 months of the new year. And they kind of missed that window now this year. So it's just one of those things where, you know, they kind of missed that. And I would like to see May release for God of War, but we'll see. And it's just the same thing, like all their games they have planned for 2018, just have that 2018. There's no window. Like I do expect God of War to come out this year. Like I don't.
Yes,
think
it will.
It's going to come out this year. Spider-Man, I was confident Spider-Man was coming out last year, but I'm confident Spider-Man's coming out this year.
Well, they've shown a hell of a lot of things for Spider-Man this year.
They've been really ramping up the preview cycle for Spider-Man. So
yeah.
Hopefully we'll see Spider-Man this year again.
They don't need to tie it in with any sort of. Well, Spider-Man's appearing in Infinity War this year anyway, so
maybe
we already get our Spider-Man fix in the theaters, so it's still fine.
Yeah,
they don't need to tie it in with like another Spider-Man movie coming out next year because the Homecoming sequel's next year. So it's like they don't need pressures of that. And when Sony gets the cue that Insomniac is done with the game, they'll let them be done.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I would like to see Spider-Man in the summertime, summer release.
I kind of imagine it's in the fall.
Yeah, actually, but that's what I was going to get at. It probably won't come out till September.
But it needs to come out before that rush of November, late October or November. I'm talking the game needs to come out like late September.
Yeah.
And then if hypothetically Red Dead does come out this year, hypothetically, even though I don't know if you're going to think... If Rockstar gets their hinges up and actually releases Red Dead this year, then they better get away from that. I mean, not that I'm really thinking a Sony exclusive is going to get hit, but it just can't get sandwiched between any kind of games. Like Spider-Man needs to do well.
Yeah.
I think it will, regardless. But at the same time, I want it to have its spotlight because, for one, Insomniac deserves it big time. Because they haven't really had a hit in years. Even though Ratchet & Clank, the remaster, was quite a success to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like in terms of like really being up there on the showcase, like their glory days, I want them to get the spotlight again. Because like their sales numbers have not been proving it at all. So I really hope that Spider-Man sells actually quite astronomically at this point because the install base of PS4 is high, and this game will probably sell a lot, of course. I mean, I'm going to buy it for sure. It's just, I just don't want it to get sandwiched between anything like a Call of Duty, another EA game, Red Dead, hypothetically, even though, I'm just throwing out things, it can't. It needs to come out September.
September would be a good month for it.
Yes, I think so.
But then, so we're saying God of War and Spider-Man for sure this year. Then we get to the question marks. I don't think Days Gone's coming out this year.
Days Gone.
Because that was something they said a while back. They said that a while back when the game got announced. They said it might not be out till early 2019. Didn't they say something like that? When it was first announced, because everybody was like, "When's this coming out?" And they said something like, "Don't be surprised if it's 2019 or something."
That one, I kind of want to give a deadline a little bit for that one. If we don't see anything by this time,
I mean, we saw a little bit more of it at E3, some more gameplay and all that.
We did,
and it's just one of those things where right now Sony is focusing so much on God of War because that's going to be their next thing. That's coming out before any of the stuff we're talking about, and then presumably Spider-Man's going to be after that because we have been seeing some more Spider-Man.
Sony right now is one at a time here, guys. It's you can't ask too much of Sony right now. It has to be one at a time. Even though Sony's working on all these things at once, right? But I feel like the production cycles have gone longer and things have changed that, we gotta focus on one,
Yeah, I just feel like Days Gone's gonna be that game where they might announce an October release date and then it'll get delayed to February. February 2019.
And this one at a time approach has benefited Sony greatly, actually. I mean, look at the success of Horizon Zero Dawn last year.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where they don't want to go into that thing where Uncharted 2 and Ratchet & Clank in the same month.
Yeah, that, and then DJ Hero, and all that. Well, it was Uncharted 2, Ratchet & Clank, and DJ Hero, and all sorts of other games came out in that short time span. It was what? I'm glad that they strayed away from that. At the same time, it's man, we get less games.
Yeah,
but in turn,
and the
we
thing
get
about and the thing about Days Gone is have they ever even said 2018? Has there ever been just 2018 at the end of the trailer, or it just kind of ends?
Well, you know how the press likes to spin it. They always like to kind of wordplay in the interviews with the developers a little bit and be so is the game gonna kind of?
Well, no, but I mean, even at E3, they show the God of War trailer and ends with early 2018, and then we see the Spider-Man trailer and just ends with 2018.
For Days Gone, we haven't done any of that.
See, that's what I mean, though. So they're not even giving us a 2018 window, is what I'm saying.
Well, no, what I meant to say was it's really up to the press to kind of be get something out of the developers about that,
Yeah, but I'm just trying to say off the trailer windows.
Off the trailer window, so there hasn't been anything.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There hasn't been any, so this might end up being an early 2019 game. And then that
I'm
leads
fine
to
with
the,
that.
yeah, that's fine because at least in the next game is like Detroit Become Human. That's another one where I think they've said 2018, like at the end of trailers, it said 2018. But again, we have no clue as far as window of 2018. And this is a game too where I would like it to come out. I would love for this to come out this year, obviously, but I just don't know what's a good time to put this game out because no matter when it comes out, it's such a specific kind of game that it's just not. I don't know.
I would have liked Detroit to come out like by May or something like that, you know. But the way these timeframes are working now with Sony is totally different now than what it used to be, and where do you even slide that in? Like I imagine December, but they don't want it to be out in December. That's weird.
It's like I don't know because whatever it is, it's almost counter programming in a way. Like if they drop this in November, it's like sure you're competing with all those big shooters, but like that's kind of the point. This is that game.
It's alternative, yeah. It's alternative.
It's going to appeal. It's kind of like it'll be like I mean if they did put it in December, they can do like the Last Guardian type thing where it's just that alternative game releasing in December. You know, kind of after everything.
Yeah.
You know, something different. You're like, by December, you're like, I want something different. I spent the last 2 months playing shooters and these big AAA things. Like, I want to play something that's different. And then there's
a different kind of AAA game.
A different kind of AAA game. And then there's Detroit Become Human, you know. But the flip side of that is, I think if Detroit doesn't take that December slot, I think Dreams is going to take that December slot.
Oh, God, Dreams.
Because Dreams has a 2018 window. They said it's coming out in 2018. And Dreams could be that Little Big Planet thing where, like, Little Big Planet 1 came out in, like, October, whatever year.
It was, like, actually November.
Little Big Planet 2 was supposed to come out in November, December, and they got pushed
delayed,
to January of the following year. And then Little Big Planet 3 was, like, November.
But Dreams has had its dues of delays anyways.
Yeah, so I don't know. I can see Dreams coming out in that kind of December window of basically doing what we just said, where... You know, you kind of get that onslaught of big shooter stuff kind of out in October, November. And then come December, you're like, I want something different. And then Dreams kind of serves that purpose of, like, this is something different. You know?
Yes. I cannot agree with you with that enough. And they can do well at that time.
Yeah, and then the thing is, if Dreams comes out in December, then that means Detroit might not come out until January or February. And then, or vice versa, where we'll see, you know, Detroit come out in December, and then Dreams come out either January or February.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man. I'm grading a lot today, and I really do. Like, nothing really. I'm still back and forth on the Red Dead thing, though.
I don't think Red Dead.
I did say at the beginning, like, but I am holding out some hope.
I don't feel it. I just feel like
I don't either. But dude, it's one of it is one of my most anticipated games.
I mean, it could pull that. It could pull that like Fallout 4 thing, where like they have a big showcase of it at E3, and like, hey, this is coming out in November.
You know how Rockstar does it. You know, it's always elusive.
Yeah, I mean, it could happen.
I mean, they never go by a specific model. I mean, I always, and the internet too does the thinking itself about the Rockstar model, how things work. But it's changed so much since 2013, the launch of GTA 5, and then how GTA 5 got its second life, and then all that, and basically the whole product rollout of Rockstar Games as a whole. You know, we don't get single player expansions. We don't, for whatever reason, and you know, we don't get as many games. When are we going to get the next Rockstar table tennis? And then Midnight Club, you know. But at least we got the LA Noire.
Yeah.
The VR.
I mean, they got to make their money somehow. They got to make some more money.
Yeah, I mean, that was great, the remaster of LA Noire. I was glad that people were looking back fondly on that game. I mean, I still love that game so much, aside from that stupid trophy with the cars. Can't believe it was already, God, how many years ago now? That game came out 2011, 2018, approaching 7 years ago, that game. Wow. Still love that game so much. Yeah, there's VR, so at least Rockstar is testing the waters of VR, even though it's only on HTC.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting stuff there.
Yeah. Time update. We are an hour and 20 minutes in already.
Okay. I mean, we'll probably want to wrap it up in like 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah. I'm just letting you know if you had any more stuff on questions or whatever.
Not really, but these were the main topics.
Main good
over. I mean,
just
I thought they were really good.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, that's
before anybody thinks that this is really negative, I just think kind of in the year as a whole in 2017 in terms of gaming, um, I don't think it's gone bad at all of the hyperbole some people have been throwing up. But some people claim that this is actually one of the best years in gaming. But I would kind of have to respectfully disagree on that.
I
Um,
respectfully disagree.
yeah, I don't really know how people can make a case as to how this is one of the greatest years in game. How 2017 was one of the greatest years in gaming, when in turn it was actually probably one of the worst, at least in my opinion.
Well, it kind of depends on what platform you're on a
But
little.
yeah, it does depend. Yeah, of course. Um, and then that's not even including some of the outside stuff. But just as a whole, really, I think gaming is perfectly fine. I don't think it's going anywhere. The sales numbers don't prove that at all. And we just need to kind of just, at least gaming developers too, just need to kind of clear the focus a bit on where they need to put their efforts in. Because, we had like weird trending things about like, oh, save single player games, because, there was this kind of hysteria about like single player games going away ever since Visceral shutdown and all that. And like, is there even a place to make single player only games anymore, where we have the games as a service? Something that Square Enix, EA, and even Ubisoft to an extent want to push. Not really Sony, Microsoft a little bit, but then again, how many Microsoft exclusives are there? not to trash all that, but I mean, there'll be more Microsoft exclusives. I mean, they have Xbox One X, and that's successful. I mean, they haven't really stated any sales numbers of that, have they?
It outsold the PS4 in December.
Okay, yeah, okay, so they haven't released some stuff. So, oh really? Wow. I feel like, the PS4 is slowing down, but it's still doing well.
Yeah.
Even though the Switch is still dominating right now.
Yeah,
the Switch is new.
Switch is new. Switch dominated sales, but Xbox One X did outsell PS4.
But PS4 is at this point now where it's basically sloping a bit.
Yeah. But 2018, start putting out little God of Wars and stuff, man.
That's when we get that spike.
Yeah.
We hope. And I anticipate that it would. I mean, people go, like the crazy incentives people that I always hear about buying systems. Remember about like No Man's Sky? Like people will buy PS4 just for No Man's Sky, and boy, I'm sorry, people that did that. But if you enjoy it, who am I to say, right? I don't know. Just personally, I just think we lost a lot of focus in 2017 in terms of what to really put out there for gamers. And I can't necessarily blame the developers that much, because due to the way that the market is speaking with some of these games. I mean, Overwatch is successful in these big multiplayer games that consume your life, basically, like Call of Duty, Destiny, still Overwatch, and whatever other games that are games as a service, even on PC too, that are not even on PlayStation or Xbox or on the Switch. So, you can tell like some of the most critically reviewed games that were out in 2017 were like Zelda, Mario, and
Horizon.
Wolfenstein 2, and Horizon Zero Dawn. Like we looked back on those games pretty fondly when we had last year Overwatch, which we can attribute a great deal as to why we got to this place of microtransactions. Because now blaming Overwatch alone is silly, but it sure did catapult things to the place of where we're at, even though it was just cosmetic, So
well, it's just one of those things where like developers looked at Overwatch, and Overwatch is a great game and all, and it did microtransactions right. It's just developers didn't see why it worked. They just saw, hey, people are willing to
the model itself. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say here. Yeah.
Yeah, they just saw the model itself and said, oh, hey, Overwatch is doing really well with loot boxes. Let's do that. And then they took it in the wrong direction. Where Overwatch knew, like Blizzard, whatever, knew what they were doing with Overwatch. And then so many people were trying to copy the wrong things of Overwatch,
Well, but still, Blizzard is still under the umbrella of Activision, and you saw like how they're doing things with like Call of Duty and Destiny. So it's like even though Blizzard is a sub company of
Yeah, because that's the
Activision,
funny
so they
thing.
get
Like, because they don't.
yeah.
It's not like the Activision logo is even on Overwatch. You know.
Yeah, exactly. It's a sub. It's like the Disney and 20th Century Fox.
Yeah.
You know? Even though it's different mediums, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, same idea.
Yeah, same general idea. I don't know. I feel like still I was probably even though you were trying to turn my head around about microtransactions, I think we were still too kind on microtransactions. The fact that Evolve and stuff like that, just cosmetics and all that. But like even still in the back of my mind, I was just like, I don't know, man. People are gonna twist this up more, and then it's gonna be like in every. I mean, I did specifically kind of predict that, but I was gonna feel like people are gonna twist this the wrong way, and then it's gonna rub people the wrong way. And then 2017 was the embodiment of that when it was like in every AAA game. Shadow of War was a big one where that happened. So I don't know. I would like to think that this is kind of like a fad, kind of like how online passes were, but online passes was like a completely different thing,
Yeah, that went
because
away fast.
that went away quick. But the thing is about microtransactions, this has been around for a long time. Like going back to PC, like it's been around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's just when it comes to console gaming, that's where it kind of rubs people the wrong way. And I understand that.
Yeah.
But I've heard all sorts of arguments about microtransactions, and my friends have even put out decent arguments themselves about who's even really buying these, because we have people on the internet that outrage about microtransactions and all that. But I don't know. I would like to at least think in my own head that it's, the people that outrage about microtransactions are the ones that are not even online. It's just I don't want to stereotype or anything, but kids, that just buy it from mom and dad's credit card, don't even rate it on the PSN, because you don't even see ratings of these microtransactions on the PSN, because my brother noted that you buy it from the game, not even on the store, so you just get it from the game.
Yeah. So
that's what I would like to kind of think the majority of these people are buying it. So not necessarily not even the core gamer at heart that don't like these microtransactions. So
Yeah.
I don't know. So, I don't know. That's just kind of some things about gaming as a whole in 2017. But it did have some incredible bright spots, though. Some truly incredible bright spots. So, it wasn't all bad. It wasn't all bad. And then, we were talking about, again, almost for, how long? 45 minutes about Sony's release schedules.
Yeah.
It's it's crazy, how long we have to talk about these, because back in the past, Samurai Jack. Back when Sony would release all these AAA games, we always had that reassurance that on the PlayStation blog of all these awesome Sony AAA games, but the game has changed, literally, and Sony has put so much other focuses to VR and then 4K gaming, and then I don't know. It's just it's a lot of balls to juggle. Okay. So it is for them. I mean, they have so much going on when you think about it. I mean, it's not like a fault or anything. I mean, I for one like it. I like that they experiment in all sorts of different things. Microsoft is too. I mean, Xbox One X was truly, something different in a way, even though it's still the same Xbox One,
Same but different.
Same but different, Might sound like an incredible understatement for the most powerful console in the market, but I mean, it's true. I mean, it still runs the same interface, still plays the same games, I don't know. Hopefully most of what I said makes sense.
The more you talk, the more it makes sense.
At least in my head, I would like to think so. But I don't know. Do you agree with some of what I said, or?
Yeah, that's fine.
I feel like I gave one of those long speeches, in a movie or something, and it kind of just
I've already made a sandwich in that time,
Well, it was I watched that movie Molly's Game the other week, and like Idris Elba gets like this long ass speech. You know how the Air Sorkin movies go, where like the characters go on like long ass speeches. I feel like I just gave one of those. And then the person next to me is like, yeah, I agree with that guy, and that's it.
So, my rebuttal, I agree.
Judge, the case is dismissed.
Dismissed. Well, with that,
but focus. Everybody's just gotta focus. Breathe. I respect I respect to an extent many facets of gaming. I just want to make sure they just focus on what makes it fun and stress-free and enjoyable. So that's really just what it needs to be. I don't want to hear a million news stories about like why a game is faltering because of microtransactions or something a developer put in the game and whatnot. But just put out the game, be good, release it when it's fixed. Like, okay, maybe I don't want to make that sound hypocritical because we were just flacking Sony of how long, not really flacking Sony, but like how long they're taking for some of these games. But release them when they're done. Yeah. Let's not download 8 gig patches day one for these games. And this is an argument that's been present for like years, so it's not even like a new thing.
Yeah, because that's the thing about because that's one thing. That's one thing between all these first party games from Sony, is that they're all single player driven games. And the thing about single player games is when you release them is that you release them and then the people who really want to play them are going to sit there and play them and play the whole thing. Sometimes quickly, like maybe it might take them a week. Maybe they'll beat the whole game in a week, and then they'll beat the game and they'll be like, I had some issues with that. Maybe some technical issues, like maybe this needs to be updated, this needs to be fixed. The problem with that is they put out an update and that only helps the next person. That doesn't help the guy who already finished the game.
Yeah.
Because I've already played and experienced it. Where with multiplayer games, you get an update and it's like I play this game and I'm like I have problems with it, so I'm not going to I'm going to stop playing it, but you put an update for multiplayer game, this can fix something or change something, and that gets you to come back and keep playing the multiplayer. But that doesn't really happen with single-player games, because that was another one we didn't talk about that came out this year was Mass Effect Andromeda.
God, yeah.
Because that was my thing with that game was that it came out, single-player mostly. There's a multiplayer component, but mostly single-player game. And it's one of those things where I was playing it, and they kept promising all these updates, so it just made me not want to play it because I want to play it the best it can be. So I don't want to beat the whole game, and then they put out updates to say, okay, now it's even better. So now, and I don't have the incentive to go back and play it again just to see these things being better, So that is kind of the pressure on Sony right now to put out all these single-player games, is that they have to kind of be the best they can be at launch, because, if we put out an update 2 weeks after launch, 1 month after launch, that's not benefiting the person who already bought the game. That's only going to benefit the next person that buys the game. Yeah,
it isn't like Sony. Look, not every single not every single game Sony has put out has been, A-grade material. I mean, when the Order 1886 came out on PS4 in 2014, I was actually quite shocked how mediocre the game was. Because Sony came with a string of wins for so many years up to that point. And, we got some solid exclusives even before... Yeah, even Knack before the Order, and when we got the Order, it's just like, what? Like, how did this happen? I was pretty shocked. I mean, production values aside, I was pretty shocked. Back when that came out. So, Sony wants to put out good material. And the Order didn't even need to be patched anyway. So I don't think any sort of patch is even going to fix that game, even though it didn't need much fixing, quote unquote.
Yeah, technically it was sound. It was just...
Technically it's sound. It was just everything else surrounding the game except graphics was just, So, Sony has to always release games when it's ready. Microsoft has those same expectations too, to a degree. Of course. So, there are projects that they put out long gestate too. So, and Nintendo too. I mean, Nintendo has that same thing, and you see what comes out of it. The gaps between core Mario games or core Zelda games. That's what you get. You get Game of the Years and all that out of it. So,
yeah.
So, I feel like that was a positive note to
There you
end
go.
on.
Yeah, that's a good positive note to
I
end
wanted
on.
to do that, even though it's. I don't think it sounded negative in any sense.
No, we were just cautious. How about cautious? Let's go with that.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I was going to say something else, but
yeah. Well, that's fine. We can, like I said, I like ending on that positive note there.
yeah, there we
But,
go. I like it.
But yeah. So with that, this has been the PSBS PlayStation Podcast, episode 96. I'm your host, Cody, PSN Body Boys. My co-host here is
Andrew Ernest, double it's anybody out there. I will have my line open. You can contact me by any means necessary. Email. PSN. I'm not gonna put my phone number out there. That's a little weird. Just email PSN, please.
We get that. We got the Twitter.
Twitter. So yeah. Could see about that, and then yeah. Gosh, I held it in Belgium. I'm sorry. I almost made it. But I couldn't do it.
Almost made it. But anyway, yeah. So this has been the PSPS. Thanks for listening. Have a good weekend coming up. Stay warm.
Stay warm. Be careful out there.
Yeah.
Do good in school. Look both sides of the road.
Yep. Thanks for listening, and hopefully we'll see you next week. And